Hello guys and welcome to today's setup guide with the Mercedes AMG GT3 around the Bahrain circuit. Guys, we're gonna get starting straight away because we're a little bit tight on time. I'm a bit sorry, I screwed a little bit up with the timing here. So, we are in a default setup and I've already went a little bit down here with the fuel. We're gonna go down with the mix and we're gonna keep everything else straight like this at the moment. But we go front brake duct a little lower, as we know that the front brakes are not overheating too bad from GT Challenge, and the rear brakes literally not overheating at all. So that's why we keep the rear brake duct closed. Other than that, nothing to change here. We keep rear wing 2 for the moment, and we see how we need to adjust these settings here accordingly as we go. We leave the dampers. I put wheel range lock to 540, and then we're just about to get going. So, first couple of out laps for us here in the Mercedes around Bahrain. And yeah, 36 minutes for us to do the job with the setup. Why have I picked the Mercedes? Literally because Mercedes has great acceleration power out of second and third gear corners. And surprisingly, we got a lot of them here around Bahrain. Turn 1 is one of them. This turn 4 is just another one where you go in second gear. Then a passage or an area where the car is not as good as this left-right chicken maybe. Car very aggressive on the rear end. Then another great second gear corner for the Mercedes. Turn 8. Acceleration galore. And another great corner for the Mercedes. Turn 10. Maybe even first gear, but I want to keep it second to be honest, because the torque of the car should be good enough. So I'm adjusting the seat so I can see turning better. This turn 11 and 12 is going to be the only area where the car is suffering a lot. High speed corners is something that Mercedes isn't really liking. But the exit of 13 is to the liking of the Mercedes again. So, I'm obviously changing the fuse again. Showing what that Midgy magic is all about. Well, we're trying. Certainly I put myself a little bit under time pressure with that little bit of a screw up. As in, for the race pace, I understand 159s to be aimed at. But let's first do a couple of laps to see how the car is. I can explain the spring rates. Spring rates is given a value for the velocity or for the amount of force that needs to be applied for the spring to be compressed. So in these GT cars, setup values are overwritten, so we do not see the actual physical values, but we see some placeholders, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on. However, 1, 2, 3, I think it's up to 7 here in the Mercedes, stands for a specific amount of force being applied on the spring. So, I don't know, from 120 Newton per millimeter or 160 Newton per millimeter. I don't know the exact physical values of the suspension here, but this is usually what the values are standing for. So the game obviously translates the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the setup to the specific spring that is being located in the physic file. And the spring rate then means how much force do you need to apply in order to compress the spring. So 120 Newton per millimeter is an indication for the force you need to apply for the spring to compress. And that is what you are defining with this. So, I'm a bit stuck behind that McLaren now here. You see that the Mercedes is a bit... tail happy is the wrong word. But is a bit dodgy. Like, sometimes it tends to oversteer. Next moment it tends to understeer again. And that has to do with the current suspension setting, I think. Because current suspension setting indicates... Yeah, just turn in because I'm beside you. Yeah, it's fine. Just go for it. Sorry. I think the rear is a bit jumping up and down because I think on the default setup we have a lot of travel on the rear axis in terms of the right height. Which gives the car a lot of way to go up and down. So if we can fix that to a smaller rate, and especially the rear end not being that high, like dynamically high of course, then I think we'll get a lot more smooth running. So this is the final lap that I'm doing. Yes, Drex, I'm going to do the 24 hours of Daytona in iRacing. Yeah, especially on the brakes, the car likes to jump around like crazy. Which means that the aero balance that is set up for the front in the first place because of the high rear is moving even further to the front. And as you can see, we're running very much into this ABS and stuff. So, I will finish this lap and then go back to the setup board. Reason why I've chosen the Mercedes is, first of all, it's a great qualifying car, which is very important in this series, as the GT3s do not feature too much of downforce, sadly. Sorry, too much of slipstream and draft. So overtaking is going to be difficult despite the long straight here. Furthermore, the race is only like 25 minutes long, and Mercedes takes a hit on the tires after like 15 to 20 minutes, so I should still be in an area where the car will work considerably fine. Tracks we're going to run in the GTP. So, on to the setup page. First of all, I need less traction control kick in the slip angle area. Just want to have more control of the power myself, and on the ABS I also turned down 2 clicks because, you know, every time I'm hitting the brakes the ABS gets on, and you should not lean too much on the ABS of the car. Furthermore, I'm gonna click 3 up on preload. That will increase the stability of the car during braking and turn entry. It's the only thing that we can do in the differential, so we take it. On the brake bias, we also go a click further to the front, or 2, just to give it a little bit more front end stability on the braking and less rear swingingness. Right, about the chassis itself though, as you can see, so 7.0 is the minimum ride height. I want to put it to 8.0 for the moment, and I want to put some packers. Why do I put some packers? Because when I'm lowering down the rear end, that is obviously the dynamic range of the setup that we have available. Sorry, I forgot to change the scene. So the right height, taking it down, limits the dynamic range that the car is moving. And with it being lower at the back end anyway, that means that the aerodynamical balance, or the center of gravity, will move further to the back, which will increase more understeer, less rear end snappiness. But because of the high speed turn that we have in turn 11, turn 12, with the car going up the hill, so the weight leaning backwards anyway, I want to have packers in place to limit that car coming down on the rear end, because otherwise I would just understeer off. So we have set that. I want to give the car a little bit less front roll, and with that we're gonna take a couple of more laps and see whether we can improve the performance of the car. Another effect of the right side being taken down is we should now have increased top speed, which you should see on the main straight. This is because car has now less rake, is less attackable in the airflow, therefore having less drag. That should lead to slightly higher top speeds. So let's see how the car feels around here. Maybe even too understeery now and too lazy. You could also introduce some little bit of front packers in order to limit the front dipping under the brakes. I see way more understeer already. And at the end of the day, it could even be that we need to re-raise the rear end again. Could also be the only way where we get the front end or the car to rotate around the corners. Let's see about the straight line speed though first. Well, that's not really a bonus yet. Yeah, biggest problem with the car apparently is it likes to understeer when you lean on the fronts, which is something I do a lot on my driving style. This could also be the effect of the front anti-roll bar that I've put in now. So, one more lap to try. But I assume I need to bring back more rear end performance. Generally speaking, the car needs minimum steering inputs, which is sometimes a hard lesson for me, as I would consider myself being a driver that makes use of a steering wheel. So you clearly see on the Delta that we are losing 2/10 compared to our previous setup. And additionally, burning the fronts. Yeah, but that is the sort of corner that you need. Just one little bit of steering input. And then make it around the turn. Dummy Wolf, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Hey Goldwinger. So what we're doing is we take back the anti-roll bar, we go down a click with the rear wing, actually 2 clicks. We put a bit more right height again. And we put front packers in order to stop the front end dipping. Give the car a click toe in and a click toe out on the back. So other way around, toe out on the front, toe in on the rear. Should give me a little bit more rear instability on exits and a little bit more bitey front on the entries. Let's see how it works. I'm sorry, I'm super bad in changing the scenes accordingly. Excuse me. The Goldwinger, thank you for a tier 1 subscription here on Twitch. Much appreciated, buddy. The car rotates a lot more on the rear end again, which is exactly what we want. But it doesn't kind of snap oversteer anymore on the initial brakes. It did that a lot in turn 10, let's see if it still does it. Yeah, it still does it, but much more gently now. That's a thing. What do you mean with this neutral steering? See if we can take turn 12 again in a better manner. Yeah, a slight lift might still be necessary. Overall car rotates. And on that note, I will keep the brake bias where it is for the moment. Yeah, neutral or minimum steering. Yeah, front end is pulling around the corners really good. And you see this effect now straight on the Delta. I'm not waiting for the car to rotate. I'm not having that severe understeer. from beforehand. Now I can whip it around the apex, give it flat out throttle, gain the speed on the exit, carry the speed onto the straights. I only need to do a little lift here and there to correct the car's heading and direction. Beautiful turn 8, not too much input steering, slightly rotating the car over the rear. This is exactly what the Mercedes needs. See, too much steering input, straight understeer. You need to rotate this car over the brakes and over the rear. Isn't the only turn where I would say that the rotation is too strong on the rear. Yeah. Let's do a second lap to verify the findings, because I want to make sure that it's not just, you know, the first fresh lap tire kind of thing. Because I haven't won a single thing if the car suddenly starts over-rotating on the rear end. Which means we now need to find a fine balance between having the car rotating or just having it stable. Started rotating and then suddenly I killed the rotation with the ABS. There's a few spots here and there where you need to be careful with the rear. Which means in hindsight, it's better to adjust a bit again. So we also note down 2.91 liters of fuel, 25 minutes times 60. I think we're doing 117.5, 13 laps times 2.91, including formation lap. 40 liters should be enough. So we take a little bit of fuel out. We go forwards with the brake bias by another 2 clicks. And additionally, give the rear end 1 click of anti-roll bar. And minus 2 clicks on the right height. And if the car doesn't hold up, we're gonna increase the rear wing. No, actually we can do something else. Because the problem is on initial turn-in of the car. We even increase the preload even more. More preload should mean more stability on the braking. And this is really the only issue that we have, that into the braking zones or into the turn-in zones, the rear just suddenly snaps. Yeah, cars straight away more understeery though. Rule number 1, never brake on the racing line, please. Yeah, see, cars much more stable now into this. But the understeer is back. Since I don't have too much time. Tony C, thank you for the follow. I will remove the anti-roll bar. I will put the spring right, click down, and go again. With those two settings, I want to reinforce the front end, especially the anti-roll bar. I'm so sorry, my stream is showing... My YouTube stream is showing the intro, is that true? Didn't show the intro. Never mind. My brain. Where was I? Yeah. About the front spring and the front anti-roll bar. This has no other effect than making the front end stronger. As you can see straight away. Maybe just the front click. The front anti-roll bar would have been way to go. But let's see. A car more or less stable into this, and especially the suspension, the front suspension being softer should help into the low speed turns, making the front end grip and like dip in, rotate around the corner. Turn 11 approach, much more stable. Not too much counter steering going on. Turn 12 almost flat. Turn 13 not pitch perfect but much more stable. Just need to be careful there maybe with the braking. In that configuration I think I should now be able to improve 2 or 3 tenths. Let's see. Hey David. No, I did not continue racing after DTM Spa. To admit that I was a little bit too much in bad mood after that. Look at this turn 10. Straight tooth and found. A little bit of a lift through 12. That's overall fine though. You see the greater stability into the turn, being a straight reward on the exit, 8.5 tenth up. Event starts in 5 minutes. Tire wear balance slightly on the rear. 93 front, 92 rear. But that's also just the Mercedes. .30-degree track temp. Yeah, I still need to be careful with these turns. Car rotates beautifully around hairpins though. No PB. But I think nice and good car for the moment. Ever so slight adjustments just to fend off oversteer a tad more. I'm gonna give it one more click. Oh, wait, dampers. Of course, we have dampers. Gonna improve the rebound. Giving it one more click and one minus click on the slow bump. Slow bump will improve the traction. Actually, I don't need it that much, but at the front, I would love to keep the weight a little longer. So I give the rebound a click. Also, just marginal stuff really. Dampers, as you know, may not do 100% of the job. We put preload one click more up. We save it. Mercedes AMG GT3 at Bahrain Grand-Prix. Gonna upload this setup later on to our setup shop, www.improveyourlaptime.com. But now, guys, we go for a 25-minute race. Yes, Dan, back in the Merc. Against 27 drivers. Couple of silver drivers here as well. Still expect... no, 27 is exactly the split. And we will get 14 people driving in my split or so. Shame. So, rolling start. Yeah, 28. Okay, guys, I grab a coffee real quick. And then we'll be right back here with racing in the Mercedes AMG GT3. Right guys, here we are, back again with the Mercedes at Bahrain. We are loading the set we just created. Make sure to assign it, so every time we jump into the car here on the track, we get it up and running. And then guys, we are about to get things going. As we take out a little bit of fuel. MVN91, thank you for the Prime subscription on Twitch. Welcome to the stream. And go for our first quali sim, 7 minutes 15 in the practice. Bertus Jansen, thank you so much. Yeah, guys, not only hit the like button, please. If you appreciate these type of setup guides and these tutorials, then please follow us on Twitch, subscribe us on the YouTube channel, and be aware, guys. Actually, question for everyone: would you appreciate a little bit more insight about FFB here on rFactor 2? Let me know, because I was thinking about putting together another small tutorial where we look a little bit deeper into FFB settings. So if you guys want to see that, hit that subscribe button on the YouTube channel, make sure you ring the bell, and have an eye out on our playlists about tutorials and info videos on rFactor 2. Mix. Hey Bruno, thank you so much. Are you racing as well? Let's see what we can do with the qualifying trim in the car. I think we need 55s. Oof. Almost shot turn 1 big time. A little bit of a moment into turn 3. A brake setup tutorial. What will you want to see as a brake setup tutorial, if I may ask? This is not a good lap. Yeah, I'm very nicely cooking the rear. What were the final adjusted? Yeah, I need to think about them once again. So is it a 57 at least? Yeah, 57.0. I did not do a final adjustment. Ah, the dampers, if any. And keep the rebound like that. The rest is probably just was bad driving. Hey Monza, how are you doing? Okay. Tony, I'm afraid that there is nothing really to be said about brakes. I've put, I think 45 kilograms into my load cell profiler. There I have linear brake settings. So, the more I push, the more I brake on a linear basis, and I have the same linearity on rFactor 2 as well. I've just set myself a force threshold where I'm like, yeah, I'm comfortable hitting 100% like this in every race for 2 or 3 hours straight. And that's literally it. So, Jules Neal, 9/10 up on us. See in the dash that we have 6/10 alone in the penultimate turn. Okay, it's interesting information, no touchy of this Astro there. Let's see if we also can... Not hit the... miss the curve, miss the apex of turn 1. It's a yes. Car, especially the Mercedes, can take turn 1 or turn 2 curve amazingly easy. Yeah, don't touchy of that curb. Just slows you down. And then I think I was a bit overfueled. Ten minutes of quali. Here we go. Still synchronizing. So, guys, I hope you're looking forward to some GT3 racing. And I hope that you have appreciated the setup guide. I would have loved to do it a little bit less stressed. Not like this stress that I had to do it, because I screwed it a bit up with the timings. I thought I could easily start the stream now and then have like more than an hour of time to thoroughly develop a setup. I consider the setup good enough though, and this is now a little bit also the moment of truth. If we can do the race without big snaps, without, I don't know, losing tire performance whatsoever, then I'm gonna upload the setup to our setup shop. As you know, these races always are quality control as well. Is this something I have to fight for 25 minutes to keep the car going straight around the corners? Or is it something rather... well, easy is the wrong word, because obviously these esports setups... well, it's not a real esports setup, but these tuned setups that are beyond basic, they always go a little bit more towards the oversteery side of things. But what I'm looking out for the 25 minutes of the race is the oversteeriness something that the majority of drivers should be able to handle or not? There will be oversteer moments. Someone that thinks that we won't have them is surely not the right call. I mean, you can build a car that's not oversteery, but it won't be quick. What's the difference between tuned and esports? The tuned setup, like what I consider this to be, is one that you can drive aggressively and not die with, and that you can drive not so aggressively and have a little bit more understeer with. The esports setup has literally just only one way to drive it. Anything else is either insta-dead or extremely slow. So as we've seen by Jules, low 56 is what we need. Not sure how good that lap is now. Personally, I consider it like low to mid 56-ish. Maybe 55 high. 55 high. 6 more minutes to go. Bruno, I don't think I'm allowed to give out promo codes. Would need to talk to Fabian about that for the future. Or we can give it a thought then. So where is Jules? He is the P8 car. He just left the pits. Or he's driving road ahead of me. Not sure whether he died the first lap. You know, guys, I've said this before, we're not only selling the setups, just like, you know, with the expectations that they are esport ready. They are not. And I like to emphasize that a lot, that they are not esport ready, in a way. Because, you know, the people that we are targeting at are the people that want to turn on rFactor 2, go into the competition system, obviously drive for competition, but, you know, like, grab the set, get warmed up with it, get into a race and know that you got a 85-90% sort of optimal setting. It should be able to be driven by the broad audience. If I upload something that I can deal with extremely well with, because I'm a maniac on the steering wheel, able to, I don't know, rally esport GT3s around corners and be quick with that, while you can't, then that's not really what is giving you a benefit. It's not also nothing that gives me a benefit. So yeah, esports setups are not really what we're after in terms of what we want to sell. Yep, Seiko, that's correct. They are all fixed setup races. To just give you the driving experience. Ah, I approached this bad. So this is a perfect example of the car is still a tad too aggressive if you get it wrong on the brakes. Maybe I need to do some adjustments after the race, let's see. What do I mean, Bruno? You mean the setup guides are raising the fuel numbers? Yeah, for sure. You guys are interested to see how these setups are done, and also, I mean, as much as it is working for the setup shop and a quality control thing, yes, you guys have the possibility to also learn and understand a little bit more about setups. But most importantly, I think you guys also see the way we are treating this. We're not just like, you know, sit down, click a couple of values because we think we know it and just upload it and whatever. For every setup that we do, there is at least a 1.5 to 2 hour testing period included. And for me, that is like an hour building the setup, getting used to the car, maximize it in a good way that is drivable for the broad audience and the broad customer. And then there's the 30-minute race or the 45-minute race where every setup I load up, I have at least raced once for its purpose in order to make sure that it's built and designed for what it's supposed to be. Where is Jules Neal now? P13 hasn't set a lap time yet. Noguera, thank you for the follow and welcome. If I add the promo code, I'm pretty sure it's being... If I write it down into the comments area down, or into the description of the video, people give the video a click, but they don't watch it, or they don't look at it, which is bad for my metrics when we talk about YouTube metrics, so... A different story if you guys are watching a full setup guide, and instead of having a promo code, you guys take out the notes, maybe do the clicks yourself. Ah. It was a really good lap up until here. And this is where I've thrown it completely. That mistake into turn 11 is worth 4/10 at least. Coming out too wide. Losing the line. Damn it. Now I would need a combination from this and the other lap to have a good Motec. Jules does not take away pole position from us. So that's good news. So then, 30 liters of fuel. Sorry, 40 liters of fuel. Michi. What are you doing? We keep the soft tire. Then we're gonna get running. So, we let them finish the laps. I go for a quick pee break and I'll be right back.
Attention grid, will all non-essential personnel leave the grid now?
All right. Happiness, hello. Welcome. Vindes, you're gonna be curious about it. I think it's the majority of people watching me is here to learn something about rFactor 2, learn something about setups, learn something about driving lines, racecraft, maybe just enjoys watching the fast racing. But I think really that like the ordinary user, the ordinary spectator of me is someone interested in seeing good racing, seeing performance racing, and learning something about the sims, learning something about the cars, learning something about the setups. Pretty much. That's what I think. That's what I guess you guys are. Is it a 25-minute race? I haven't even looked it up. Might be also 30. Hey, Hugo. It is. Okay. It was just too used of the fact that the races have been 25 minutes in the last couple of days. Sometimes, you know, things go wrong, so you've done about 50 races and you have 2 DNFs. That's good. Less than 10%. 4% to be precise. Yeah, I guess you can be happy with it. I think it's a good value. So we've got Mercedes, BMW, Mercedes. Yeah. I think the Imola setup went a bit too far towards the esports side, indeed. Or maybe guilty on that one. What is Rem doing? Ah, Hugo. You should give rFactor 2, like the overall game, you should give it a chance. BMW Power Galore. Ah, sorry, Mercedes Power Galore. It is. Look how that Mercedes is pulling away from the Beamer in the low speed top corners. I agree with you, Vindis. What if you were in charge, what would you put into the beginner series? Thank you, Adrian. Appreciate the support. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, I agree with you. Ah, MVN. You need to change that. Register yourself on the race control within rFactor 2 and get going. You won't regret that. I mean, obviously every start is a bit tricky and difficult. But again, I think if you join my YouTube page, you'll find a number of tutorials that should help you in this one. Well, Jules is a little bit too close to my liking. So I should probably pick up pace a little, especially since that M4 seems to be a good one on the brakes. Hey, Claudio. So, MVN, if you want to get to the YouTube channel, type in !sub. And then you'll get a link to our YouTube channel from the stream bot. And there you find the playlist. rFactor 2 tutorials or rFactor 2 guides. There's a lot of videos that you can have a look on. What do you mean if I had a look at Last Garage? I don't think there's any footage out of that yet, isn't it? I mean, of course, I've spoken to the guy that develops it. Martin Demchik, thank you for triggering the bot here. Sadly, that bot is not to be grabbed for the Twitch people, I think. I mean, they can read it out now, but yeah. Not the way we want to do this. So I think it needs to be triggered on Twitch. I saw a post about it. Yeah, then I haven't checked out that post yet. So right immediately put a bit of space between me and Jules. I guess I also let you guys judge it a little bit, whether this setup is checking quality control at the end of the race. Gonna be interested to see what you guys are thinking. That's fair enough, MVN. Enjoy it. And I appreciate you being around enjoying it as well. Once again, thank you for the Prime sub. Support. Enjoy, Hugo. And good luck with that. So guys, tomorrow we are doing a little bit more iRacing. We need to get ready for the iRacing Daytona 24. So some more practice streams tomorrow and some racing streams in iRacing next week. I will schedule the streams as soon as I know the spots for them. And then additionally on Thursday we're gonna race the GTE special event here in rFactor 2. The GTE runners around Sebring. Gonna also build a setup for the GTE car. And then obviously we're gonna have a stream on it and we enjoy racing. MVN, we're going to race the Cadillac GTP. It's not too smooth yet, to be honest. Which makes me still thinking about adjusting something on the car. At the end of the day though, if I look at the tire wear, we have 86 front, 85 rears. Here's the proof of that. Which to me indicates that the car is overall alright, you know. I mean, yes, it's just 4 laps done so far. But the difference could be much bigger. Pace could be a bit stronger as well. But it's... I mean, in order to be quick with this car, you need to rotate it over the rear. Could be a bit more careful with spinning the rear out of the turns, yes. But just like, you know, the initial turning and flip angle drift slide, call it whatever you want. This one, that is getting the car around the turn, that you need in the Mercedes for it to be quick. And if done right, just introduce it a little bit. And as you can see on the tire down there, yes, the tire gets hot, but it's not going to get yellow burning. Just ever so slightly. It cools down enough again so we don't build up too much temperature overall. And if you drive the Mercedes in that route, in that range, you can easily survive half an hour on it with a soft. As soon as you go over half an hour towards like 40 minutes, I would pick the medium. And if you go over 50 minutes, I guess you need the hard. Turn 11 is very tricky. That corner somehow I don't get along well at all with. Ah, Coming back on the schedule for this week. So tomorrow iRacing, Thursday, we're going to do the GTE special event with a setup guide, probably for either the Corvette C8, maybe also the Aston Martin. I'm thinking about it. The Sebring. Oh, turn. Certainly not the BMW. BMW is bad in acceleration. We have a lot of slow speed turns. Ferrari could go well in Sebring as well, I think, because of the bumps. Ferrari very good on the bumps. Additionally, Friday would be a day where we release a short or a different video. I don't see myself streaming there. Oopsie. Saturday is Creator Series Day. Round 2 around Azerbaijan in the F1 23. We're gonna race the Mercedes this season. So I hope, as much as this is probably not your preferred type of content, I hope that you guys might still be interested in watching the F1 23 Creator Series race, as it is still competitive racing. And it's also fun to watch for you guys. Usually there's always action happening in that race. Okay, now I need to be careful with the rear left. You see now it's about yellow, so it's about overheating. Tyres now 79, 76. I think the Audi has one problem. It starts sliding the rears way too much. So, 30 minutes to go in the race. That means 7 laps, 7.5 laps of fuel remaining. So it won't be done yet on Saturday evening, because on Sunday there's Formula Simracing, another pre-season test race. Likely again at Bahrain, but hopefully somewhere else. Yeah, and if you appreciate the schedule, guys, have a subscription on the YouTube channel, give the video a like, ring the bell, come back for more great sim racing. So, 15 minutes into the race, remember what I said earlier in the stream? About 15 minutes into the race, the Mercedes is losing performance on the tires. So here we are, losing 0.4 of a second twice now to Jules. This is now where the BMW comes in good. I've done 57 threes up until this lap, and the last lap I mean. Then I did 57.9, 57.8. So I dropped like 5 or 6 tenths, which is the difference between me and Jules currently. But additionally, I haven't perfectly driven the car in the window, and this is exactly what I mean. Remember when we were speaking about esports setups? The more you drive the car not in the window, the better it's gonna, or the worse it's gonna get. Now, additionally, here it's sadly the case that the Mercedes is using the tire very much compared to other cars. But again, I've picked the car because it has strong accelerations out of the slow turns and good qualifying performance. Yeah. Right in the middle of the apex. We love that. I would not necessarily say there's such thing as a meta car right now. Qualifying performances are great for Mercedes literally around everywhere. The more Mickey Mouse the track is, the better the Mercedes is going to be. Same goes for the Ferrari, but the Ferrari is very good in tire wear. It's disgusting to drive, but the car has performance. It's really good in the tire wear, so it's a good endurance car. It can keep up with the Mercedes 2 or 3/10 back maybe in the opening 15 minutes. But after the 15 minutes mark, the Ferrari gets quicker and then just walks away from the Mercedes. BMW M4 is especially great in high-speed turns, so you would pick the M4 for Daytona, you would pick it for Spa, you would pick it for Silverstone. This is where the BMW M4 is really, really great. And if you're looking for a good mid-engine car that is generally balanced, maybe a tad understeery, good for the rain, then you pick the McLaren 720S. Yeah, sorry, got no volume control for sneezing there, Laurie. Okay, you've clearly seen I've talked too much. 7/10 of my own pace. Stop talking, Mitchie. Oops. MVN, I hear ya. The McLaren 720S is really good on the brakes. Has decent top speed. I think not top speed, because the M6 and especially the Porsche I think are stronger. But the car has a very neutral balance when it comes to rain. Really good. Generally speaking, the McLaren is very neutral balanced. Mercedes is an understeering monster if you drive it bad, and an oversteering monster if you drive it fast. I think Mercedes and Ferrari are both the most difficult cars to drive quick, and then there's Porsche and M6, and I think I would never pick the Porsche and the M6 if I don't have to. M6 is just notoriously bad to drive. Porsche, I mean, it's a Porsche in the end, you know, got good straight line speed, but it changes the balance much over the stint. So, sadly, Jules is coming a bit closer to me. I haven't driven the 650S after the update yet. Neither did I race the Bentley. Bentley used to be extremely good in low speed turns. that's rotating like on a tin top. Has good brakes, extremely good brakes, but it does that front aero dip a lot. So when you brake, the front balance gets a peak. Five minutes to go, 3 more laps. Yes, Laurie, focus time indeed. Minimum camber about yes. Minimum tow, you mean around 0 or around maximum negative value? Yeah, I guess so. I mean, this car has -1 click in the front and +1 click in the rear, so it's very close about 0. I think the default setup is 0 on the toe. So I would assume you can call that a meter still. Generally speaking, the baseline setups are not that bad on RF2, especially for the BMW M4. I think the M4 in its default setup is almost like a rocket ship. Just some specific tracks where you would need to do a lot of work on it. Oh boy. So the Mercedes is coming to its maximum capacity of rear tires. Issue with the Mercedes is you may not lean too much on the ABS. As long as you don't lean on the ABS, you're going to be fine with the machine. So 3.5 tenths back, a bit too far. But Jules got some, he got some rear wing on, as you can see. Oh, come on. Getting more full of suspense in the end than I thought it would. And for me, the biggest challenge is yet to come. Turn 13 is where Jules has the opportunity, because this is the approaching zone out of a high-speed turn where the M4 is really good. And the Mercedes kept struggling into the turn anyway. But we're about to fend it off. And final time around the turn. No, Jimmy. 28 drivers or 29, but 2 splits. And a couple of other people on, I think, the daily races. No happiness. Lower rear anti-roll bar does not necessarily mean grip. It means that the rear roll is like the car rolling when turning is softer. So the lower the anti-roll bar, the more roll you allow, the more weight transfer is happening. And this have its up and down sides. If you have a stiff anti-roll bar, rear end is extremely stiff, doesn't roll, so you can't load up either side tires. Will be bad for traction maybe, but will be good for high-speed turns where the car is rotating really nice. I don't know, Jimmy, you tell me. Would you have a dynamic split? Would you have no split at all? Would you split it just because of one guy? What would you do? So, what will I do with the setup though? You guys will probably ask. And I will give you guys an answer. I will put the right height 2 clicks lower. That increases the rear end stability. That should be it. I consider quality control passed. I told you it's going to be an experience to drive the Mercedes beyond 15-20 minutes. You're going to have a struggle with that. Hey Jules, nice pace, nice race, good stuff. Got a bit too close there in the end. So, I hope you have appreciated the race. We're sitting here first. Silver 1.1 plus on the driver rank. I still don't know what the heck I have lost last night, because where is the result? Last night's race. It's not here. I'm missing the DTM race. Because I think that costed like 3 or 4 percentage DR. I don't know, is there any driver that isn't DR2 already? Or might I be the first if I make it at some point? Yeah, Jules, you had rear wing on, right? Like P2, P3? You were not on minimum rear wing, I guess. Anyway, guys, to sum up the race, I consider the setup to be good for racing this series, so I will upload it to our setup shop, www.improveyourlaptime.com. Oh yeah, downside of the M4, not the greatest top speed then. That's for sure, I guess. Mercedes power galore down the long straights with a low rear wing. Bruno, have a good night. Jules, have a good night as well. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you have enjoyed it. And again, if you appreciated the race, if you appreciated the setup guide and the driving and the talking and the insights, then please subscribe us on the YouTube channel. Please follow us on Twitch, make this community grow. Guys, we're trying to hunt 10,000 subscribers, and Carmel is a guy that has made this goal one step closer. Thank you so much for your subscription, Carmel. for here on the YouTube channel. Yeah, guys, we're trying to grow this channel to 10,000 subscribers. We're obviously going to focus on Le Mans Ultimate once it's out. With Jimmy Ellison in the chat, I think we're gonna soon have something nice going on as well. You know, VEC is still a thing, so we may gonna make it back to that. MVN, thank you so much for your tier 1 sub on Twitch. In this, thank you for being here. Thank you for enjoying the good info. And yeah, guys, have a good time. See you tomorrow. I'm still a bit undecided if I go on iRacing tonight still, because I'm really desperately need to get some laps in that GTP. Me thinking, you know. Anyway, it's going to be a short-term decision. Guys, we're gonna have a raid on Twitch. Hope you will enjoy this. Let me see who is live. We're going to do a raid. Matt Malone with some iRacing. You guys are out for entertainment, I hope. Anyway, guys, enjoy your evening. If I don't go for another iRacing stream, have a good one. See you tomorrow, though, on an iRacing stream. That is set. I'm gonna schedule that. And yeah, have a good one. See you. Bye-bye.